Pretty much no matter what your role is in marketing today, you need to understand conversion rate optimization, whether you're a copywriter, whether you're running the marketing department, whether you own the business that's being marketed, pretty much no matter what, you need to understand conversion rate optimization, at least from that high level, the like executive summary level of what you're trying to do, and importantly, what you're actually putting into the tests that are the essence, the core of conversion rate optimization. So today I want to give you both a very specific tactical lesson about 10 conversion rate tests that you can run today to boost sales. But on another level, I want to give you the strategic lesson of what conversion rate optimization is and how to approach it if you actually want to get great results. And so with that, let's go ahead and dive into the notes. So 10 tests that you can run today to boost your conversion rate, to boost your sales. What's conversion rate optimization? Well, the essence, the core is an A/B test. It is to say, okay, here is one particular piece of marketing, and here is another particular piece of marketing. And if we send an equal amount of traffic to each of those, randomized so that it's representative of a bigger sample. If we send a randomized equal amount of traffic to each side of this, which one generates more of our desired action, our conversion action? And so that can be sales, of course, but it could be clicks, it could be opt-ins, it could be I suppose there's lots of different ways that you could measure conversion, lots of different conversion events that you can define. It could be a call-in, it could be, there's lots of different conversion events that you can define. But the whole idea of an A/B test is, does version A generate more response, or does version B generate more response? Now, there are much more complex approaches to marketing testing. And in fact, once upon a time, I wrote an entire ebook on Taguchi testing, which is an advanced multivariate testing methodology. But at the very core, what you need to understand is you can compare two different pieces of marketing or advertising, right? Or sales copy, or whatever you want to call it, and see which one generates more of the desired result. And this is the core of direct response marketing, direct response advertising. And it actually goes all the way back to Claude Hopkins, scientific advertising, 100 years ago, wrote this book about this process, basically. And I often say that it's still the best book on internet marketing that's out there. And it was written 100 years ago, well before the internet. You can check the links in the description. I offer a free audiobook and PDF download of Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. Okay, so that's what conversion rate optimization is. Just figuring out which one generates a higher conversion, right? And then continuing to test. So big tips before we get into the 10 specific tests. Big tips for conversion rate optimization. Number one, you want to test high in the funnel because you want to be able to get data quickly, and getting a good amount of data quickly does rely on having a larger volume of conversion events. And so, for example, if you're able to put 10,000 ads in front of people and get a certain percentage that are clicking each ad, it's going to be a lot easier to get statistical significance about which of two versions work in the context of 10,000 ad impressions versus something where you get like 10 people visiting a website. Okay, 10 people visit a website, one converted on page A that got 5 views, and 0 converted on page B that got 5 views. Which one of those is going to work best at scale? Well, we don't know because there's just not enough data. So you want to test higher in the funnel first because you need a higher traffic volume in order to get statistical significance and figure out, okay, if version A outperformed version B, is that going to continue to happen, or is that likely to continue to happen? And then you can test down the funnel as you're able to drive more traffic with higher converting elements. You test deeper and deeper. You also want to test big changes. So if you want a big difference in response rate, And that can mean a big difference of increased response or a big difference of decreased response, but you want a big difference because then, well, of course, you'd rather double profits than increase them by 2%, right? So you want to test big changes to get a big different reaction from people. And then it's only when you're dealing with a very high traffic volume that it starts to make sense that you test the littler changes, getting more nitpicky about the different elements. So early on in conversion rate optimization, you want to test bigger changes so that the experience of ad A is significantly different than the experience of ad B. Now, this ties into this 80-20 conversion rate optimization. This is a reference to the 80-20 principle, even to my friend and client Perry Marshall's book, 80-20 Sales and Marketing. That 80-20, like, okay, so 20% of your ads are going to generate 80% of the conversions if you're running testing. Now, it may not work out perfectly that way in terms of ratio, but it's worth recognizing that if you test 5 ads, you're probably going to find one that significantly outperforms the rest. If you test 10 ads, you'll probably find 2. And the ratio could be 90-10, it could be 70-30, right? But you're going to find that a small percentage of the ads tested significantly outperform and a small percentage significantly underperform. So the more you can test, the more you will find those significant outperformers. And it's even fractal, as Perry Marshall referenced, that 80-20 squared, well, 20% of the 20% or 4% of the total generates 80% of the 80% of results, which is like 64% of results, right? And so the more you test, if you test 100, you're going to find 4 that are just big runaway winners. And so you want to be testing a lot if you want to be very effective at conversion rate optimization and increasing sales. Okay, so hopefully that's at least enough of an overview that we can dive in, and you'll see some of those lessons reflected as we talk about these 10 quick conversion rate tests to boost your sales. And I'm not going to spend too much time on each, just give you enough inspiration that you can say, oh, that makes sense in the context of my marketing campaign to test it first, right? Or, I'm inspired to test that particular thing. So for headlines, you want to test different headlines, see which ones grabs your visitor's attention the best and conveys the main benefit of your product or service most effectively. You want to get that first reaction, right? The first sale that you have to make in any kind of selling situation is the attention sale. You have to justify why they're going to continue to pay attention to you, and capturing their attention and promising a core benefit provided by your product or service. Well, test a few different variations on that, how you approach it, the core benefit that you are promising in the headline, your structure of the headline in order to grab their attention. This is one of the fastest, easiest ways to change the response to an entire sales letter or landing page, is to just test a different headline. Likewise, the subheadline is very similar. It can support and expand on the main headline. So you experiment with variations of your subheadline to support the main headline and provide additional information about your offer. Perhaps also to pique the curiosity of what they're going to find as they dig deeper into your selling message, whether it's a video sales letter, text sales letter, or some combination, a multimedia sales letter. And you'll find, by the way, that some of these recommendations look or feel a little bit different depending on maybe which one of those you use. That's okay. This is about not finding all 10 are things that you need to test at once, but finding the 1 or 2 tests that you might run next to figure out what's going to significantly boost your sales. Okay, your call to action is an essential element of your sales message. And so you want to test different call to action button copy. I find that the button copy is most often the most impactful part of this, but color, shape, sizes, surrounding text, you can add context to your call to action. You can set the site visitor expectation about what they're going to see when they click the call to action button, right? To determine what drives the most clicks and conversions. This is also an especially great place to test on your opt-in pages. If you're high up in the funnel and the conversion event that you're measuring is just, do they give their email address or not? The call to action button and the surrounding text can be a powerful way to do that. Images. Our first impression matters a lot, and we have a subconscious first impression that is influenced by the images on the page. So you want to test various images. And in terms of testing big differences, it could be product shots if it's a physical product, lifestyle images, what does the benefit look like in terms of someone's lifestyle, graphics. You can test people, right? You can test men, you can test women, you can test families, you can test like as is relevant, right? You want to see what captures the prospect's attention, see which ones resonate with your audience and conveys your message best. Proof. I have a whole training called Proof, Credibility, and Believability. There are tons of different ways to present proof, especially on web pages, different forms of social proof, customer testimonials, case studies. I like video testimonials, image testimonials with the text next to it, trust badges, anything to establish credibility and trust with your audience to make them feel better about checking out, placing a purchase through your website. Testing variations in your sales copy, especially the lead. You can test different lengths. In general, the more you tell, the more you sell, but only if the quality of copy is the same. And in some cases, depending on the complexity of the offer, you might actually find that shorter copy works better, that generates more responses. So a very simple offer, like just getting someone to opt in for some free information, that might work much better as a very, very, very short piece of copy versus a more complex offer where you absolutely have to have longer copy to justify the purchase. So length, tone, storytelling, you're just looking to test lots of different things to find the most persuasive and engaging messaging. If you've done some headline tests, you might want to test a variation on your lead that is more in alignment with maybe some new headlines that you landed on, right? Or if you tested some ads, you could run a test on the different of different leads to make them align with the ads as well. Testing pricing and offers, so experimenting with different pricing structures, and in some cases things like buy two get one free, or buy one get one free outperforms two for the price of one, or 50% off, right? And so you have to find what works best for you. You want to experiment again with different pricing structures, discounts, bundle offers to see what maximizes revenue and conversions. This is another place where it may make sense to, for example, have a would you like fries with that, or would you like a value meal type offer where you are adding order form bumps to increase the cart value. Video content, so you might want to test the inclusion of anything. It can be explainer videos, customer testimonial videos, product demonstrations, or just whatever is the most relevant video content to include throughout your sales message to see if they improve engagement and conversion rates. Urgency and scarcity elements. Does it make sense for your offer to have some kind of countdown to display the current quantity in stock? Does it experiment does it make sense to do limited time offers, countdown time, like limited coming at this from a few different angles. I'm not reading my notes before I'm saying it. Layout and design. Now I put this one at the very bottom for a good reason, because this gets into the realm of superficial details. And yes, these superficial details do matter. The general perception of your landing page, your sales message, whatever, it does matter. And at the same time, usually it is not a core, I don't decide if I'm going to buy a new car based on the layout of the advertisement for the new car, right? I'm going to look at other important factors. And the same thing applies for most products, most services, that this is among the least influential. But when you are dealing with scale, especially when you're dealing with a lot of traffic, having a better layout, having a better design, it will make a difference in terms of the total response. It's just, it's not nearly as important as the core benefit and the price of the offer, right? So you want to experiment with different page layouts, color schemes, and fonts to find a combination that's visually appealing and easy to navigate. What I would say with that is I wouldn't try to test, like run a split test on the font and then run a split test on the headline colors and run it. Like I would come up with, 2 or 3 big differences if you really wanted to test this, and run 2 or 3 big changes against each other. Now, in the context of direct mail, for example, there have been cases where what looks like a sales letter is tested to look like a magalog, right? A magazine / catalog, right? Looks like a magazine, sells like a catalog, and that can significantly boost sales too. So it can absolutely matter. It's all about, again, making the attention sale. So layout and design, it's about getting someone to start to engage with the message. So again, these are 10 ideas that you can run with and figure out which one is the most relevant to you if you're interested in increasing your conversion rates on your websites or in whatever marketing you do. Ask yourself, my call to action for you at the end of this episode is ask yourself how you can use this. What tests might you run for your particular campaigns? Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get more content like this delivered to you. And I'll include a few links in the description, including that free download of the Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins audiobook or PDF. Actually, it's and PDF. I have a training that goes deeper into testing, marketing testing, called The Scientific Path to Increasing Profits. It goes deep into it from the strategic perspective to help you be better at generating input design for these tests so that you're able to get bigger increases in your output, in your conversions. And if you are interested in checking out my services and perhaps working with me to guide your team through conversion rate optimization, I do offer fractional CMO services for direct response marketers. And I offer a complimentary intro call to see if it might be a fit and where you might fit in my client load at the moment. So you can check that out. All those links are in the description. I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I'll catch you again in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.